Okay, welcome you guys. We're going to do a quick lecture about research. So let's kind of talk you through this particular class and the specific type of research we're going to be doing in it. So first of all, what is in the name of the course? That sometimes confuses people about the purpose of it. Technical writing projects is the name of it, but a better name really would be technical and scientific research writing. But that's too complicated. So in this particular class, we have students from a variety of disciplines, and that is going to make things interesting and sometimes complicated for how we organize ourselves when we're giving feedback. We have students from engineering, so we have ECET, MET, CPET, IET, and CNET. We have computer sciences, information technology, information systems. We also have natural sciences such as biology, chemistry, physics, and psychology. And we have an increasing number of English people who are either taking professional writing as a minor or even more than that. So welcome to all of you. You'll all be working together, and this is actually an advantage to all of you because one of the things we want to work on in this class is being able to talk to people in other disciplines and other skill sets. So having all of these people here does make for a better way of doing that. Now, one of the things we also want to talk about is, are we doing academic or workplace writing in this particular course? So this technical writing is made up of a lot of genres used in tech focused workplaces. If you've taken courses in tech writing before, you may have done things that was more like workplace writing, stuff that's good for the real world, like instructions manuals, Gantt charts, reports, feasibility reports, and so on. These are things that are useful, obviously, very useful stuff that we need to know how to do. Now, on the other hand, we have academic writing. So academic writing is research that focuses more on technical and natural sciences, but it's more than just what you've done in the past with research paper, where you've kind of gone out and found some sources and kind of slapped them together. You know how this, you know what I mean. This is more, for the most part, you guys are seniors or even juniors. You're working on something that's a little more sophisticated here. Some of you are creating actually new research, right? Whether you are doing that by creating surveys or creating a widget, or whatever it is, or investigating something. A lot of things that you're going to be working might be actually publishable. But what you want to be concerned with is that your information is part of a wider academic community here. It's not just something that's for a specific workplace project, but something that will be talked about and used for a long time potentially. So one of the other things that we really want to talk about is research and the type of research as a process. Now, in the past, probably you thought of research as sort of linear or progressive. I find this, then I find this, and then I do this, and then I do this. There's a series of activities or steps or stages. And there's going to be, we'll talk through that more as we get to more research stuff. But that's not the way research works in the real world, is it? Right? So if you went out to Google and you kind of look for what is research, you might find a couple of different things that they say, hey, this is what research was. And this is one of those. This is what we call sort of a linear approach, right? So we have the research idea, then the literature review, and the research design, and the data collection, and the data analysis, and the publication, and yay, we start here and we end here. Now, this is very simplified and very linear, and as you know, research, is a prefix, re, and it means do again, right? So literally, research is search again. So that's something I want you to keep in mind when you're doing that for this particular class. None of this is really particularly going to be linear. You're going to be doing things and then going, oh, wait, I don't have enough here. I need to go back and do this. Or, oh, I did a test if you're doing primary stuff and you have a project that you're trying to test and the test doesn't work right. So you got to try again, right? You got to go, okay, we got to change something. We got to change the parameters. We have to work on this and try it again. It's now here's another way of looking at it. This is sort of the circle view of looking at things, right? The idea, the development, the fund, the plan, the record, the process, the publish, the read. Yay, we started at one place and we end in the next, in the same place. Some people call it a bunch of Skittles, right? This is also way too simplified and it doesn't work that way. Your zigzags might be much more complicated than what we're seeing here in this particular graphic. On the other hand, here's one that's really, really complex, right? So we've got all these different things going all over the place and this and that. Now, some of your research is going to look like this. Yeah, so, right, so some of you have a great idea and you're going to progress on it. Some of you are going to have an idea and then change your mind and then go, oh, wait, I need to go a different direction. Or, oh, no, I don't have enough information. Or I know, there's a lot of different problems that you might see as we're moving forward in this particular course. But I want you to think about research as not necessarily being simple. Another way we might look at something that's a progress report or a class assignment is an arch, right? Starting at the research proposal on one end and the final document on the other with the progress report in between. So yay. And again, we would love for it to be this easy. And you will be doing progress reports in this course, but the progress reports, as you'll find out, oftentimes are telling me about problems. And that's true in the real world too. When you're talking to your boss or to a funder or a grantee, you're often saying, hey, we thought it was going to go this way, but it's not going this way. So we're going to have to recalibrate. Okay. Now, the scientific method, something that you've probably all encountered in various other courses. This is another way of looking at research, right? We have an observation or a question. Here's my question. Some of you are going to be starting with this too. Then we research the topic area. We come up together with a hypothesis and think, okay, I think I can fix this by doing this. Let me test it with my experiment. Let me analyze the data, report the conclusions, and we're done. Again, it's never quite so simple when you start actually doing the research, whether it's mental research, physical research, primary or secondary, right? It's a great model, but it's not always going to work that way. So another one we might look at here, we have projects and scientific methods that use this scientific methods. So when we're doing this, the research proposal is over here. So we are doing a research proposal. That's one of the first things that you do. We do have an observation and a question. We do decide, okay, what's my research idea going to be? And we do have a hypothesis, what's it going to be. Now, for some of you who are doing secondary research, that means you'll be collecting sources, maybe you'll be doing interviews, maybe you'll be doing surveys. That's one way of doing it. For those of you doing primary research, you'll be in a lab perhaps, or creating a thing and doing the same thing, going, okay, what is it that I'm going to research and create? How am I going to do that? Okay, so then this next area over here, as we move through the semester, will be a progress report in which you're doing the testing and you're doing the analyzing. So that'll be kind of more towards the middle where we have to make progress. So from right now, you're looking forward to going, okay, I need to first develop this thing. By the middle of the semester, I need to be testing and analyzing it. And then by the end of the semester, you're going to be creating the documentation, the research paper, the poster, the white paper, and potentially submission to a conference or journal, depending on what we decide to do moving forward with this course. Some semesters that works and some it doesn't. So we'll let you know how that goes. So again, taking a look at how this might work. I just lost my thought process here. Let's move forward how class assignments might work if we were using the arch, if you prefer the arch sort of thing. So when we start with the research proposal, that's going to be like weeks 1 through 6. And then we move into the progress report, which is weeks 6 through 9. And then we've kind of gone over the progress report. We've gone through the problems. We've recalibrated. Weeks 9 through 13, we're doing that recalibration. And then by the time we get to weeks 13 through 16, you're making the final documentation and writing that white paper that is going to go out to the world. Now, one of the things in this course that we want to make sure that you know, if you're taking senior design, some of you are, some of you aren't. If you're taking senior design, you'll be creating information and reports for that other course. In this course, the aim, the goal of this particular course is to create a white paper information that goes out to people who aren't in your research group, who aren't your professor in that other course, that are people who are English majors, who are people who are in maybe HR, human resources, or maybe somebody who's going to sell your product. So the white paper in this class is intended to be a wider audience, one who has a really deep skill set, but not particularly in exactly the research that you're doing. Keep that in mind. Okay, so again, what's next? You're going to be deciding again whether you're primary research or secondary research. We'll talk about that shortly. We'll talk about IMRAD. That's a way of saying introduction, method, results, and discussion. You'll be choosing your topic and developing a good research question. So that's the primary goal of beginning this course at this point. Again, if you need anything, you can find me at BENYOUSS at pfw.edu. I look forward to talking to you again.